Did we talk about AI? Did we talk about AI? Yeah, we briefly mentioned AI with the GNOME security report thing. I do want to talk about AI a little bit. So I don't know how many of you guys have seen this, but Australia is doing the Australia thing. We are thinking that we can just control the world and anyone's going to listen to us. So Australia is planning some of the world's toughest AI regulations. Water usage will be limited. I love the water meme. The water meme is so fucking funny. AI data centers will be required to become net producers of energy. If this means we get nuclear power, hey, that's something. AI companies can't train on Australian creators' work without their permission. That's me. Yeah, we'll see how that one goes. I'm sure all of the companies operating out of China are gonna respect Australian law. Proposal expected to be introduced as legislation in 2027. Australian writers, musicians, artists, and journalists must retain ownership and control of their work. Our laws will spell that out plain as day. Anything less is theft. Now, I agree with the sentiment. Absolutely agree with the sentiment. I know how this goes, though. I know how this goes. How it goes every single other time. Australia tries something. The companies are like, no, fuck you. We're going to cut our service in Australia. Then they're like, no, don't do that. Nope. Bad idea. Eject. I think Australia thinks that we think we are a much bigger market than we really are. Like, if the US did something like this, I think it would have an effect. If Europe did something, it would have an effect. Yes, Australia is a large market, but I don't think we're going to be able to push around the US when the US is, like, all on board with AI. China is all on board with AI. Maybe if Europe decides to do something similar, that might have an effect. I just have my doubts. And I think what's going to end up just happening is pretty much the same thing that happened with, like, the porn restrictions in Australia or anything else like this, where it's like, Australia, you can kind of just fucking do your own thing. You guys can, like, deal with your own bullshit. We're going to do our thing over here, so, as long as you're not Australian, you can fucking do whatever you want. And that's my expectation. Now, I would like there to be some sort of AI regulations that exist. The problem that I see is I think that unless you can get some sort of, not even just worldwide, but like large agreement on it from a lot of countries, you're really not gonna have like anything that actually happens here, right? I think it's just gonna basically be, all what's going to happen is the other Australian thing, which is the new government comes in, it's the other party that wins, and they're like, you know all those things the last government was doing? Yeah, we're just not going to do any of those things. It's going to be like NBN 2.0, and nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen, and then it's like, next government comes in again, they say like, oh, we're going to do this thing. Then it gets pushed back another 2 years. Then the next government comes in again, and like, I'm not going to do that. And then eventually, like 20 years from now, something does happen. The entire world is run by the magical thinking rocks. And goodbye world. Yeah. I don't know. I have said before, I think this AI tech stuff is here to stay, right? Like, it is here to stay, no matter what any regulations are going to do. I think there does need to be something done, because we are going to see massive, and we're already starting to see it, like massive displacement of jobs is happening right now. And I don't really see how you curtail that without some sort of massive shift. Now, I don't know if I'm, like, fully on board with, like, a UBI kind of situation. but nobody else is really suggesting like a good solution. Like what you usually have is, oh, it's going to be like the Industrial Revolution, where all of these new jobs are going to be made, and it's going to revitalize everything. And like that's great and all, but I don't know what those jobs firstly are going to be. Secondly, what the intellectual requirement is going to be either, because, you know, we had factory jobs at one point in Australia, and we do to some extent, just not that much. America was the same. America is pulling some of it back as well, but a lot of that was shipped overseas. And it might not be nice to say, but there are some people where the hardest thing that they are able to do is turn a nut. They are a exceptional nut turner. Maybe they can even take 2 bits of metal and then bring them closer to each other. They're not welding. Welding's like actual difficult thing, but like they can take the metal, bring it together, and then the welder can do the welding thing. It's not nice to say, but there legitimately are people that like that is what they can do, right? And as we get a more technically advanced society, there's something that, like, there needs to be a meaning for people's lives, right? And I don't think that meaning is, oh, everyone just becomes an artist and everyone just like, ooh, we all sing Kumbaya and everyone just lives a fantastic life. I don't see how that works out well. I don't see how a world where people, I think for a lot of people, like, work is their meaning, right? Being the provider, being someone who, even if it's just for themselves, right? They don't even have to have a family. Being the one who makes the money in their life, going somewhere every day where you have to be there. You just have to show up for the work. That is something which I think, like, that kind of structure is something a lot of people need. I don't think everyone can be an artist. I don't think everyone can be an entrepreneur. I'm worried for the future. That I think is like the TLDR of everything I'm saying here. I am worried for the future, and I don't have a solution. I don't think anyone really has a solution. Anyone who does have a solution is frankly not in government, because I don't think there's any of the governments that are really thinking about the solution. The solutions you get basically are full steam ahead or we must regulate it. And there's like not any plan of this tech's not going away. What do we do with it? Like, how do we solve this? What do we do about the job crisis that is going to be happening? Where does this actually go? I don't know.